We cannot discuss Nigeria's democracy, particularly the Fourth Republic, without the place of the PDP. The PDP, the party that produced 3 presidents out of the 5 democratically elected presidents of Nigeria since 1999, the party that ruled Nigeria for 16 years, the party that controlled the National Assembly for 16 years, the party that controlled 28 states when the party was in its prime. What happened to the Iroko? How did the PDP find itself where it is today? The reality, or what seems to be a reality of the dynamics of Nigerian politics at the moment, is that the PDP may not have presidential, National Assembly and gubernatorial candidates in the 2027 election.
Welcome back once again. The PDP again. Of course, it is difficult to talk about the PDP, to talk about Nigerian politics without the PDP, and of course, Nigeria's democracy without mentioning the PDP. But right now, the PDP seems to be a sinking ship. What happened? How did the PDP get here? What went wrong?
I'm being joined by the one and only political maestro, the #1 political analyst of our time. You're welcome.
Sir, how do you think the PDP got to its present situation? Was it a case of negligence? Was it a case of corruption? What? How did they get here?
Okay, good evening and thank you for having me. Well, the PDP, you have to go historically to find out how the party got here. First and foremost, I think the PDP never envisaged that it was going to be an opposition party. Maybe the PDP thought it was going to be a ruling party for a long while. Unfortunately, the loss of the presidential election in 2015 seems to be affecting the party. Now, after the party lost, you know that for the 16 years the PDP ruled Nigeria, whoever became the president always hold the party. The president was the uniting force of the party. Now, when they lost, the president who lost the election that time, former President Jonathan, a few days ago, precisely on the 20th of November, when he celebrated his 68th birthday, he explained why, what really happened, because he tried to say that he's now the chairman of West African Elders Council, and he's also doing election observation. And now that in the West African Elders Council, West Africa Elders Council, that help to mediate in election and also help in smooth running of the country, that you're not expected to be an active politician. So what happened in 2015 was that Jonathan did not play the role he ought to play by trying to, unite the party or be that uniting force for the party. And then some rich people and powerful governors took over the party, removed chairmen at will, put in chairmen the way they wanted, wanted to be the ones to decide who becomes the party presidential candidate, even gubernatorial candidates and the National Assembly candidate. So that is one of the problems of the party. The party was able to navigate, you could recall the Alimodu Sheriff saga of 2016-2017 over imposition and counter-imposition of national chairman. But at the end of the day, the party was able to survive that one and was able to present a candidate in 2019. In 2019, the PDP did reasonably well in the election because that was the first election they contested as opposition party. after the loss of the 2015 election. Now, if you look at that election, they were able to gain some of the states they lost in 2015 or even before 2015. They were able to win back Bauchi State. They were able to win back Adamawa. They lost these two states in the 2015 election. They were able to win Oyo State. They were able to win Sokoto State, even though it was they almost lost the state too. In Kano State, the PDP almost won Kano State. So the PDP was relatively a strong political party in 2019. By 20 days leading to or the post 2019 election, like you may call it, you see inordinate ambition grew within the party. That attempt by some people within the party to take over the party structure. One thing was that after the 2019 election, which Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was the presidential candidate of the party, something significant happened, which was that they now became more or less a Wike and an Atiku fraction within the party, because maybe there were suspicion that Atiku came from APC to hijack the party, particularly the way he emerged as the party's presidential candidate against the wish of the man who was holding the party then, that's Nyesom Wike. Now, days leading to the 2022 PDP convention, there was still that Atiku Wike fraction. But the height of it was when Wike lost the PDP presidential primaries to Atiku. You know, the truth of the matter is that if you listen to Wike up till now, he never knew he was going to lose that primary. He never saw that loss coming. And you know how it happened. Aminu Tambuwa stepped down for Atiku Abubakar. And then, consequently, he was not allowed to run with Atiku in the election. So, what is happening to the PDP today, let me just try to summarize, is that there seems to be an attempt within the party to destroy the party, or to more or less make it an appendages of the APC. In the PDP today, there are those who are pro-government, that's who are pro-APC, and those who want the party to play its role as an opposition party. That is principally what I think is wrong with the PDP today.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, you have mentioned quite a lot of things, from Goodluck Jonathan to Wike and Atiku, and then the government. These are three factors, and of course they can't be ignored. Well, let's talk about Jonathan first. He lost the election, and of course you mentioned that he was not that role model that the PDP needed. He was not uniting force. But of course, again, you cannot deny the fact that Jonathan, as a person, wanted a kind of PDP that most people never wanted. That is, being an opposition at the same time, also being that party that has the interest of the people at heart. Would you disagree, or is there something else?
Well, I wouldn't know what is in his ideology, because up until date, he has not been able to communicate that. So I can't really tell. But one factor was clear in the election, or after the 2015 election, was that he did not provide that kind of leadership. If you look at America, for example, when Obama lost when Obama could not, when the Democrats could not produce Obama's successor, that was Trump. Trump succeeded Obama. When they were to go for election in 2020, we saw Barack Obama play active role to make sure that his party gets back to the White House. This is something I think Goodluck Jonathan did not really do enough for the PDP in the 2019 and even in the 2023 presidential election.
Okay, what about Wike? You mentioned Wike. Wike's argument is that power rotation was supposed to go to the south in 2023, and of course, rightly so, Wike is from the south. He had every right to contest. But then, whatever happened in that convention gave Atiku the ticket. Would you say that the party turned its back on its own philosophy, or that Wike was simply being selfish and was just being an opportunist? at the 2023 PDP primaries?
Well, the truth of the matter is that what happened in that convention was that politics was played and the smart politician won. Because we need to understand this, that if you talk about power rotation to the south, in all fairness, the president of Nigeria at that time, Atiku Abubakar, wanted to be president, was a Fulani northerner, just like Atiku. But there's one factor people don't bring into the analysis, which is that the immediate past president, that is the president that Buhari himself took over, is from the same zone with Wike. He comes from South. And mind you, before 1996, what you will know today as Rivers and Bayelsa State were all Rivers State. So, for me, both Atiku and Wike were asking for something I consider immoral. Okay? If power was going to go to the south, which part of the south has not produced president? Because as at 2023, the southwest has produced a president. The south where Wike comes from has produced a president. There was only one section of the south that has not produced a president. And I strongly believe that if Wike had made a case for that zone, he would have been able to smart Atiku better.
But I want to cut you here.
Okay.
This is about the south.
Okay.
Was there any candidate from the southeast, southwest, as opposed to Wike? Because as it were at the time, it was just Wike. So nobody came opposing. So it is right to say that Wike had his own right to contest as a southerner or a person from the south. So Atiku, in this case, is from the north. And you talked about politics. Should we set aside party principle in favor of politics?
Okay. Thank you so much. If you have allowed me conclude, I would have made a good point, which is that Wike undermined his fellow southerners who were contesting that ticket with him. There was an Anyim from the southeast. There was a P2B. People seem to forget that P2B was in that primaries, that he only withdrew after Wike had hijacked the Anambra State delegate. People need to understand what happened. So Wike more or less bullied all his fellow contestants from the south. And then he was now left with northern contestants who were stronger than him, and they frustrated at the end of the minute to outsmart him. I am not saying what Tambuwa did is right. I am not saying what Atiku did is right. But my point is that they play politics on him. Mind you, he accepted the primaries. He accepted the result and promised to work for whoever emerged at the primaries before the voting happened. After he lost, he still made a statement to the effect that he's going to support the presidential candidate of the party. But what happened? The moment he couldn't get the vice presidential ticket of the party, that was when he realized that he had a southern agenda to run. Let me say it here. I strongly believe that if Wike was made the vice presidential candidate of the PDP in the 2023 election, we wouldn't have heard it is the turn of the south.
Does this also mean that Wike became too powerful?
Obviously, even if you look at what is happening in the PDP to date, it shows that Wike, has become a very powerful force. But one thing that made Wike powerful, which people need to understand, is the weak institutions we have, particularly our judiciary. Remove Nigeria judiciary from the equation, I believe that majority of the people within the PDP have what it takes to discipline him.
So clearly, the problem of the PDP is leadership.
Yes, leadership, yes, I agree with that. Secondly, you can also accuse Nigeria judiciary. We cannot discuss the problems of the PDP, or rather, at any time the history of how the PDP got itself where it is today is written. The Nigerian judiciary played a big role.
Is the Nigerian judiciary a member of the PDP?
They are not.
An arm of the PDP?
They are not, but we have seen federal high courts in this country issue orders that, that we know they ought not to issue. Let me give you an example. The Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in pictorials of cases, have ruled that internal matter of a political party is not justiciable. Lawyers will say it is very decisive. But we have seen situations where Federal High Court issue order, don't allow secondus to attend NEC meeting. If you attend NEC meeting, whatever comes out of the NEC meeting should not be taken by INEC. Don't suspend Wike, don't suspend Otto. We hereby suspend you. Stop parading yourself as PDP chairman. These things like this have come out from the courts, and they are dangerous to this democracy. We have also seen a national chairman of the PDP gone to court to secure order to keep his seat, contrary to the will of the majority of the party. So the judiciary played a role.
So recently, the PDP has been, doing some reforms, with regards to leadership and the entire party structure at large. Now, would you say, concerning the last PDP primary, would you say that the PDP are gradually finding their way back?
Well, there are many ways to see it. If the PDP find its way back, we will be happy, because we need strong institutions. A strong political party is very, very necessary. Is a necessary ingredient for democracy to survive. And let me use this opportunity to say this, and for our viewers and indeed for Nigerians to know this. If we discuss the destructions of political parties in the First Republic, they were destroyed by a military junta, or a military coup rather. The political parties that existed in the Second Republic were destroyed by a military coup, the Buhari coup. The political parties that existed in the Third Republic were destroyed by the Abacha coup. Any government by a policy wishful of deliberate design or unwayful design, or any people who are working tirelessly to destroy any political party, that people or those group simply want to destroy democracy, and they are working exactly like the military guys. But back to the issue of the PDP. You know that this convention that took place a few weeks ago, that there was a court order that stopped it, and rightly some people within the party argued that no court has powers to stop a convention, which is true. The 2022 Electoral Act is clear on that no court shall stop the primaries or the convention of a political party. But a judge of the High Court issued an order to stop that PDP convention. So they filed an appeal and went on with the convention. Now, there was a saga that they started struggling about who should take over the secretariat. You saw some 4 members of the NWC out of about 17 or 18 claiming they have suspended the chairman. So the issue is this. It is the court, particularly the Court of Appeal, that will tell us who is the PDP national chairman. It is the court that will tell us whether that convention that was conducted was valid. The good news is that there are issues at the Court of Appeal, but a fraction lawyer to Wike has also filed their own case at the Court of Appeal, Federal High Court again, to begin a matter that we thought is now at the Court of Appeal. So again, we are also waiting to see how that matter will be decided. But for what I know, is that as of today, the PDP's leadership will be decided by the court. That's one. Secondly, is that it may be difficult for the PDP to fly candidates in the 2027 elections if these matters are not decided on time. So we hope they will be decided on time.
So two very quick ones. You said PDP may not be able to present a candidate for the 2027 election. Are you writing off the PDP?
Well, I'm not writing off the PDP, but when I say they may not be able to present candidates, I was supposed to say is this. If the matter pending court, we know the nature of our judiciary, we also know the nature of INEC program. It is expected by February, March, INEC will issue program will present the timetable for the 2027 presidential election. And I know for sure that about February, March, that the case of the PDP might still be in court. So if you still have your case in court at that time, and INEC have already issued timetable, how are you going to get a candidate? Some people will not go and pick. You cannot pick the form of a party or the candidature of a party when the court will set aside your candidature. So it's risky, and I don't think any reasonable politician will want to take that risk.
Okay, 3 things before three things in one before we go. First of all, clearly, as you have said, the PDP may not be able to present a candidate, which means all this scuffle, all this back and forth has been a game plan altogether. Do you think the opposition, that is the government in this case, is responsible for what has happened to the PDP? That is number one. Number two, do you think, due to the fact that Wike claims to be PDP but is working for the government, the APC, do you also think Wike is also in this game plan? And finally, Wike's suspension. Do you think also that the leadership of the PDP, or those who are still within the conference of the PDP's leadership, understand this game plan and want to start remedying the situation by suspending Wike and the others?
Okay, thank you so much. Let me start with the first, let me answer the first two immediately. Now, the government cannot deny not having a hand in this. The power Wike wields on the PDP is state power. The powers, some of the powers he's exercising on them are powers, as Minister of FCT. And mind you, Wike as Minister of FCT is exercising a delegated authority, delegated to him by the President and Commander-in-Chief. Also know that there was a day he called for a fraction of the PDP to meet with him. They met at the Life Camp in Abuja. The Life Camp in Abuja is the FCDA Secretariat, Federal Capital Territory Development Authority Secretariat. So which means the PDP is not the ruling party, but a fraction of the PDP was being hosted in a government building. That Wike hosted them in his office. The police he willed to seal off their secretariat at that time. These are powers, these are state powers he's exercising on them. So if a minister of the government is exercising state power on a political party, the government cannot deny not knowing what is going on. And I think one of the chieftain of the party, after the convention, alleged that part of the condition Wike gave them for peace to reign within the party is that they are not going to present a presidential candidate. And up until now, to the best of my knowledge, Wike have not denied that statement. So clearly, it seems the ruling party, do not want to have a rivalry in the 2027 election. Now, talking about whether some members of the party want to remedy the situation by suspending him, I think that part of the reason why they have suspended him is to deny him and some of the people loyal to him the right to go to court. Because if you go to court as a suspended or expelled member of a political party, you don't have what we call the locus standi to raise any issue again. Because the first thing they will ask is that you are not a member of this party, so what have you come to do? Then I think to also talk about remedying the situation, if you look at what we have today as the ADC, some of these guys are members of the PDP who are no longer comfortable with the situation. They have to create another platform, from Atiku Abubakar to Dino Melaye to even the chairman of the party, Senator David Mark. These are they used to be member of the PDP till July or June this year. So they are trying to remedy the situation, but some of them already know the danger they have found themselves. You may be remedying this PDP and you find out that you may not have candidates, and the implication is that Bola Tinubu will not have a challenger, or many of the governors at the subnational will not have somebody challenging them in 2027. So they had to create an alternative. So that is what I think may have happened.
Okay, we've run out of time, and
it's time for us to go. See you again next week, but before then, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Invite your friends for more political updates, and until then, good night.